very welcome. It's wonderful to see so many people. I see Anita from Åland. I see people from all over the world. This is so, so exciting. So first of all, thank you to those of you who have your cameras on. Now, I'm going to encourage all of those of you, the rest of you who do not, to either turn your cameras on or to turn on your avatars. Now, I know not every organization allows you to use the Avatars app in Microsoft Teams, but if your organization allows it, it would be wonderful to see either your faces or your avatars. So can we get a thumbs up? Can we get some reaction on that? Some thumbs up? Perfect. Great, great, great. Amazing to see so many of you attending. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ulrika Hedlund. I'm the CEO of Storyals, and our mission in life is to inspire, motivate, and educate users on new digital ways of working. And oh my, is AI, generative AI, a new way of working, and it impacts everyone. With me today, I have Julianne. So why don't you introduce yourself with a few words?
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. It's so lovely to be here with all of you. Hi, Ray. Just wanted to give you a quick shout out. We're very, very excited about AI and what you can do in Microsoft with Copilot, both in the browser and if you have the actual full license. So we're excited to be able to share with you some of our things that we've been working on over the last year since it's been out. And with that, Ulrika, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, so the way that we're going to do today's session is that I will do most of the talking, and Julianne is supporting you in the chat. And we're going to do hands-on exercises today. So this is why it's really good for you also to be very engaged, because we're going to ask you to do things. We're also going to share whiteboard just for more information sharing, but then we're going to try to share a shared whiteboard where you will put in and paste in some of your sample prompts. And then we're going to use Copilot to see how we can get those arranged into some different categories. We've never tried that before in such a big group. Normally we do this in smaller training sessions, but hey, you learn from your mistakes. And we have a saying at Microsoft that fear of failing will never hold us back. So let's try to break some stuff today. Now, we are recording today's session, and we hope that you're comfortable with that. Again, we've spotlighted ourselves, so we are the ones that will be visible in the recording. And if you are not comfortable with having what you're saying or what you're showing, then please do let us know, and we'll just cut it out. But we really felt that this is also very beneficial for those who cannot attend live. And also if you feel that it's something that you want to share with colleagues afterwards. Now, we also have a number of our customers here, and all of you Storyals customers, that if you want to have this as a dedicated in-house training session for your team or for your staff, that is also an opportunity. We're doing a lot of AI and Copilot engagements. Okay, I think that's it as kind of an introduction. Again, if you have any questions, please post them in the chat or just raise a digital hand and we will get to those questions as well. So let me then start by sharing the whiteboard for today to see what it is that we're going to go through.
Did you want to ask a quick question with a poll? Because I thought that's always fun to do.
Yes. That's really good. Thanks for reminding me. So the first question that we have here is related to what type of user you are. And let me explain a little bit what I mean with this. So first of all, there is kind of the premium license that you can have of Copilot that adds Copilot functionality to your Microsoft 365 app so that you have Copilot in Word, Excel, PowerPoint. This is a premium license that your organization buys, and you add an additional $30 per user per month. Otherwise, you have access to Copilot in Edge with just your normal Microsoft 365 license for work or for home. You could also access Copilot with just the normal free Microsoft personal account. And then if you're not sure, that's fine also. We will go through the different options that you have here. So in the poll here, we will be able to see here a bit of a different, and I do want to say that this session today is applicable to everyone. So we are going to focus primarily on prompting in general that you will be able to use no matter what type of license you have. It's pretty cool, though, to see that most of you who have responded here have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. And to those of you, I do want to say that today's session is not going to be enough. It will be good, but there's so much more to go through when we start looking at prompting in the different applications. But of course, the learning that you will get here today is also beneficial. Okay, so while you're responding to that, let me also then walk through how it works when you use Copilot across these different experiences. And even if you do have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license and you can use Copilot from all of your different applications, it's still very useful for you to understand also how Copilot in the browser works. So thank you so much there for responding to that question. So let's look at that then. What different versions of Copilot in Edge are there? So now we're going to talk about, again, Copilot in Edge. So what I mean there is that you can access the generative AI solution by Microsoft that's built on OpenAI's ChatGPT technology, but that they have further developed as a service. So basically, you can say that there are three different then levels of this. The first one is if you just have a personal account, a normal Microsoft account. This is free. Even if you have a Gmail account, you can create it. The other one is if you have a Microsoft 365 license. Everyone that has a Microsoft 365 license has access to Copilot and Edge. And the benefit there is that then you get what's called commercial data protection. And I'm going to show you these different options. And then the third level is if you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, and you also have Copilot available in your different productivity apps. So let's start, and I will show you. We don't have to go on the hands-on exercises yet, because I want you to choose the option that works for you. So I'm going to go through the different options, and then after, when we start doing the actual hands-on exercises, you will know which option works for you. So now I'm going to share my browser, and I need to make sure that I have my personal account. So what you do is you log in to your browser and you put in the URL copilot.microsoft.com. And I can put that into the chat for everyone so that you can access it as well. Again, this is now, we're looking at the personal use case. So this is for friends and family that maybe you have your kids that they want to start using Copilot. So if you log in with like a Live or an Outlook or any type of account, you can use Copilot from Microsoft. So you can start prompting, you can start creating images, you can really leverage amazing power of generative AI. What you don't have here is protected information. So you should not use your personal account for work. But I wanted to show that there is an option for anyone in the world to use Copilot. So all the good stuff that we're going to start doing today, anyone can do it. It looks a little bit different. And actually here in the personal version of Copilot, you actually have something called plugins. So if you look at these different plugins, these are additional generative AI services that you can add. So for instance, this one, Suno, is quite funny because you can create a song. So if you turn on Suno, you can say, write a song about being a digital leader in country style. Okay. And then I can submit that. So now it's using one of these plugins and using the Suno plugin to Copilot, it will create a little song for me. Okay? And here it says, this, I can listen to this song. So from the back roads to the fiber lines. Okay, let's see if we can listen to this one. Of course, if you want to create a longer song or if you want to do more, you can actually go to the Suno website and you can start building more songs there. But what I wanted to show is that these plugins are available in the Copilot, the personal account Copilot version.
From the back roads to the fiber lines, leading folks through digital times.
You hear it?
With a laptop and a cat.
Perfect. Okay. I don't know if it was great, but it was like a country song, and we were using just a simple prompt to create that. Definitely not something that will take us to any kind of prizes, but a way to use easy prompting to create a song. Okay, this is the personal one. We're not going to spend so much time, but I wanted you to know that, again, Copilot is available to every individual on this planet that has a free Microsoft account. Now, if you're using generative AI for business, and that's what we're talking about now, you should be using your Microsoft 365 account. So the way that you do that, okay, is you go to the same place, copilot.microsoft.com, but you log in with your Microsoft 365 account. When you do that, you will see this little badge here, the green badge. Commercial data protection is turned on. This is super, super important. Whenever you use Copilot for work, if you upload meeting transcripts or if you look at documents, you should always ensure that you have the data protection turned on. Now, I have the premium version of Copilot, which means that I have this toggle here between work and web. So you will only see this toggle if you have the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, the $30 extra per month. Otherwise, you will not see this toggle. Now I'm going to give everyone an exercise. I want you to open up Edge, and I want you to write in copilot.microsoft.com, and I want you to log in with if you have the Microsoft 365 account, to make sure that you are protected before we move on. If anyone needs help, just raise your hand and we will help you. If there's something that you don't see, let's see it as a great learning opportunity for everyone else. And I think what I will do, just to show what it looks like if you do not have the premium license, I'll log in to share that view as well. So what I'm showing now is that I'm logged in with my demo account, but here I do not have the premium license version of Copilot. So I don't see this toggle between web and work, which means I can only access information. Now, as you saw, this is a little bit different. Here we do not have the plugins that we have in the consumer version. So you might think, well, why do I have all these plugins in the consumer version, but I don't have them in the corporate version? And that is true. I mean, they're not 100% even in the functionality that you have. So you can always use both, but you should always remember that when you're working with work-related things, you should make sure that you see this commercial data protection. Now, we're looking at Copilot in the full screen. You could, of course, always open up the little the little Copilot icon here to get it into your panel, into the prompt. So this way you could be surfing on a web page and you can open up a window on the right-hand side. It is changing all the time, and you can see a new version is coming soon. Before you had one tab called Chat and the other one called Compose. They've simplified this a little bit now so that you don't have these different tabs. You just have one chat interface with Copilot. I want to show you one more thing though. Those of you who have this work and web toggle, let me show you this as well. So now I'm logged in on copilot.microsoft.com with my Storyals account where I have Copilot from Microsoft 365. When I'm in the web and I prompt, I will only access things on the web. If I switch this to work, I can choose to only access things internally in our Storyals Microsoft 365 environment. If I want to use both the work data as well as things on the internet, I need to turn on web content. This way, I'm accessing both all my work data, everything that I have within Storyals and Microsoft 365, as well as everything else that I have on the web. But sometimes you might want to differentiate and only ask something about your data internally. So then I turn this off. And sometimes you might want to ask something where it's more generic. We have a question here about what the
Yes.
difference is, from the differences between Copilot in the sidebar and then if you use it in the full screen. There's no difference there. It's just that when you use it in the full view, you have access to more tools and more area to write, and you get the full screen. So again, the sidebar is just because normally if you're surfing the web, you're reading things on the internet and you might just want to use the sidebar. So let's take an example there, Jorun. I will go to this one that is, here I do not have the work tab. So this one is only looking at external data. So here I might want to then go to, so now I'm here. So let's say then that I go to lantmännen.se. I guess this is, maybe do you have an English one as well? Let's see here. We'll go to your languages here, English, perfect. So you're surfing your own website and then you have the little Copilot here. And then I could say, list in a table the services that lantmännen offer with products or services and benefits. Okay, so I want to have a bit of an overview, Jorun, of the services that you have here on your website. And here it's saying attempting to reconnect. Sometimes you have to refresh, do a new chat. Let's try again. So here I just said list a table with the services from the web page, and it helps me get a better overview of different services that you offer then within Lantmännen. So here I can continue to ask more questions and prompt even more. But here, like I said, maybe I wanted to upload a file of something that I wanted to get more insights into. And here I do not have that option. But let me go to copilot.microsoft.com and I'm going to go to the web version. So again, the web version is the one that all of you who do not have the premium version that you can access. So here you can see that I can ask it anything, but I also have the option to add an image or add a file. And this is something rather new. It wasn't there before, and it's super, super useful. So say here, for instance, that I want to summarize this report in 3 key highlights. And what I'm doing now, I'm taking a file that I have on my computer. So I'll just take a report here, white paper from Harvard. It's a quite complex white paper with lots and lots of pages. So I'm going to use Copilot to help me then get better understanding of what this is. When you upload a file, it is kept in memory while you have the chats ongoing. So I can have a conversation now with Copilot around this white paper, but then as soon as I start a new chat, it is erased from memory and nothing is kept there. Meaning that you can use this for your documents, for your any document that you have, because it's only in memory while you're using this. So if I look at this white paper now, I've gotten the key highlights. So it's about that AI enhances productivity. It looks at the differential impact based on the task complexity. So basically it's saying that AI always improves speed, no matter if it's doing it correct or it's not doing it correct. And then that you can see that there are different collaboration models that are coming out of this. So I can continue to ask questions about this paper, tell me more about how the study was carried out. So I'm having a conversation now, and as long as I don't change to a new topic, it is giving me insights. So it tells me about the study, and it was 758 consultants about Boston Consulting Group, and it was talking about how the experiments were conducted. But now, if I do a new topic and then tell me about the outcome of the report, and now it's going to say, what are you referring to? I have no recollection of, I don't know what you're referring to. So when you upload a file or an image and you work with it, as long as you're having that conversation, you can ask questions and you can prompt about it. But as soon as you start a new topic, everything is erased from memory. So this is extremely powerful because now you can actually use images and you can use files and you can use Copilot, even again without having the premium version. But you have to do a lot of manual work yourself, right? You have to upload it, you have to ask questions. Otherwise, you have Copilot in your actual tools.
There's a great question, Ulrika, around what type of files can you upload and can it review and summarize?
Okay, so let's. I actually don't know.
PDF, docs, words.
Yeah, so let's ask.
MP3?
What type of files can I upload to Copilot for you to analyze?
Someone already did.
Yeah. Okay, so images,
Love it.
documents, text, PDF files, spreadsheets. So these are things that you can then upload and use while you're in that context. Great question. And I love that someone already answered it as well. Perfect. Let me move on. So everyone's now logged into copilot.microsoft.com. That's great. And thank you. Now, before we move on, and I think this is super, super, super important. It's something that we always say. So this is a super cool technology that can really change the way we are working forever. But what we need to remember, and that we always need to have in the back of our minds, and also when we're training users, is that you are always responsible of the outcome and you cannot trust it blindly. I would like you to share your screen and go into Copilot and ask it how many of the letter R are there in the word strawberry. Usually do this as a little test.
Last week it was 2 R's. So.
Exactly. This is why you cannot trust all of the answers that you get from Copilot.
Yeah, so actually we put it into, we did a screenshot because we tested this just a few minutes before, and then we got that it was 2 letter R's and not 3. So this is a fun example that you can test. Why don't you put in the chat, if you got 2 or 3? So you got 2, Pamela got 2. Yours says 3. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. So I think this is this is a very simple example, but I think it's good also to use simple examples because then you can show that we cannot blindly trust things that we get from Copilot or any type of generative AI. We always need to ensure that we know the sources and that we know where it's coming from. So again, when someone got just one. Oh, that's funny. Okay, great. Yeah, so here we did this just a few minutes ago, and so we put how many letter R, and then we got 2. Yeah. So again, it doesn't matter what example you use, but it's extremely important that users are aware of that it's not for a fact everything that you get, and you are responsible for how you use any type of generative AI. Okay.
And I think another good piece is always give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. So it's learning. It's constantly learning.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we started looking at the differences between Copilot, some of the new things that you can do with files and images, I wanted to go in a little bit and talk about best practices for prompting. And first of all, kind of the basics, and I'm sure most of you who have been prompting already know this. Microsoft calls this the GCSE method. But basically it is any prompt, any good prompt should contain a goal. What is it that you want to achieve? You should put context around it. Why are you doing this? Why are you asking this? You can put sources that you're referring to. And again, if you have the premium license, you can refer to sources that you have, email, documents, files, chats. You could put anything that you want as a source within your organization as well. And then what are your expectations? So here, again, this is taken directly from Microsoft Learn. And again, as part of this session that we're doing today, we're going through the curriculum in the Microsoft Learn training. So these are things that are covered how to prompt. So here's an example. Draft an outline of a training manual about time management. And then there's a little bit about the tone. So I'm going to put this into the chat, and I want you all to paste it into copilot.microsoft.com to see the outline that you get. Here you got a time management training manual with a brief introduction, right? And different chapters for setting goals, smart methods, how to prioritize, and different techniques for prioritization, and planning and scheduling to block your time and managing virtual meetings. I think this is good. But I think what you will see is that even if you all put in the same prompt, the outcome might look a little bit different for the rest of you. So that's also very important when you work with generative AI. It's not like you will get the same thing over and over again. And it's not like it's not one absolute answer. Perfect. Great going, guys. So we've done kind of a first easy prompt using this method for prompting. Now I wanted to get into a little bit more of prompting techniques that are taking it one step further. And of course, as with everything, this is something that you need to practice often, and you need to do different tests. So something that I find extremely useful is to ask Copilot to role play. So for instance, pretend that you are a social media marketeer, or pretend that you are a sales executive, or pretend that you are an investor, a teacher, a student, anything that you want it to be, take on as the persona and ask it a question. So for instance, you could ask, pretend that you're a prompt engineer and give me techniques for prompting. That always gives you then Copilot takes on a persona and gives you examples for that. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through all of these different techniques quite quickly, and then I want us all to test it. And we're going to try to open up a shared whiteboard where you can paste in the tests that you did, and we can learn from each other. So first, let me go through the different techniques, and we will all jointly try to share the techniques with one another. So the role play is extremely useful. Then you also have being able to list in a table. I find this extremely useful. List the pros and the cons, or create a table with these columns, put product name, feature, specification. Create a table with books and authors and a short snippet. Anything that you want to organize, it's super useful to do it in a table. You could do problem solving. What are some effective strategies for doing this? Or how can I solve this issue with a colleague? Or I have this with my boss, or help me solve this problem. The other one is around learning. And again, I use this all the time. Explain this concept to me. How does blockchain technology work in simple terms? Or explain this in technical terms because I want to know how it works step by step. This is also great if you're helping your kids to study. Explain this to me, and I have a 12-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old. I always have to explain things for different types of ages. Extremely useful. And then we have more of the creative prompts write a story, create a song, create an image, create something for me. And then you explain what it is that you want to create. Now, there's also something called chain prompts or prompt chaining. This means that it's like you're having a conversation. So remember how I uploaded the report and then I started asking it to summarize and then I started asking more questions? Well, you can ask questions about the outcomes that you get. So for instance, list the key points from this article. And then when you get those key points, analyze the key points and provide additional insights. So it's like you're breaking it up into smaller pieces, which helps Copilot to focus on and to give you the exact thing that you want to have. So these are some of the techniques that you can use for prompting. And of course, whatever you ask should be relevant to your role and relevant to what you're working with. So actually, I want to try now. So I want you all to try one of these techniques. And let's try, I'm going to share, let's see if we can share a new whiteboard with everyone. Go in to Copilot, create one of these prompts, and you can paste in the text of your prompt and also the outcome of your prompt. I saw that someone created an image, and I think that is really, really amazing. And I wanted to share a little bit more of just the image creation. So, and in order to do that, let's go over here. And there's actually a really good site from Microsoft that describes different types of art. So I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to share it with you as well. So you can go in and you can look at the different types of prompts that you can use for image creation. So first of all, when you prompt for images, you need to look at other types of prompts. For instance, image type, lighting, framing, lens and camera, and different styles. So of course, when you're doing images, there's so much more that you can create, right? So there are different styles that you can create. So it could be photographic, realistic style, or it could be like an oil painting, or it could be more of like this abstract painting. So all of these different words, when you're using it in your prompts, it will create an image based on your prompt. And here there's this is an art form in itself, and that's why they're saying now it's even an art in itself to start learning how to prompt rather than actually drawing it and doing it yourself. So this AI prompting guide, I'm going to share it also. You're going to get the whiteboard as well, but I will share it here in the link because here you have really good insights into the words that you can be using for your prompting. Now, since I'm going to stop just a second for questions on that, because then now I also feel that it's time for you, now that you've learned so much, to get your badges. So we want to make sure to have time for that as well. But let's see if we had any more questions here that we haven't gotten to. So we had a question here about AI and whiteboard. So yes, if you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, you can use Copilot in whiteboard to group different things together into different categories. That is correct. Another fun place to go to is something called Prompt Hero. Now, this is more for other types of images. I think those of you who work with images know that the one that you have in Copilot is not amazing. There are other tools like Midjourney and that you can use, but these are all paid services for more professional looking images. But I still think this is good, the Prompt Hero, because you can get examples for how you can prompt. So let me paste that in there as well. So here you can look, if you hover over, you can see the style of prompting that they're using, photography style, different types of images, different types of style of prompts that you could use for different types of AI image creation. Again, that's outside of Copilot and outside of the Microsoft solutions. But if you work a lot with generating images, then definitely it would be worth for you to try other types of tools as well for image creation. Okay. Now we have come to the part where you have done your hands-on assignments, you have gone through different prompting techniques, and the course that we have gone through is called Microsoft Copilot Interactive Experiences for Executives. Now, something that's part of this curriculum as well is to inform you about Copilot in Microsoft 365. So we've talked about using Copilot in Whiteboard, but of course now you can use Copilot in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of the different tools that you have. Now, for those types of getting the most out of that, also we as Storyals offer what we called a Kickstart program. For some organizations, Microsoft fund the Storyals training. For other organizations, it is something that you can contact us and we will come and we will develop that program together with you. So it is that curriculum that we have where we actually go on more, again, hands-on and try these different techniques within Microsoft 365. But today we have gone through how to use Copilot in Edge and we've gone through different techniques. And so now we want to be able to show off your badges. So to do that, you have to first have a Learn account. So I'm going to put the link to Microsoft Learn in the chat. So the first thing that you need to do is to log in to Microsoft Learn. Okay, so it's learn.microsoft.com, learn.microsoft.com. Okay, I will put it in the chat. Now you will be asked here to sign in. So the first time you sign in, you can do that using your work account. So you can just log in using your normal Microsoft 365 account. If you don't want to associate your badges with your work profile, you can also use your personal account to log in to Microsoft Learn. And then we are going to redeem the badge for you. So first step is that you need to create a profile. I pasted a link into the chat that has a little code, but it should already be populated for you. Now, when you put that into the Microsoft Learn profile, you should see like this. And this is your achievement code. And then if you look at your profile, you should be able to see the badge. I see some thumbs up. Lovely, lovely. It was a bit of a difficult way to get them there. And then you should have a trophy. So if you go to the trophies page, these are the badges, and then you have different trophies. So here you can also share these on LinkedIn or via email. You can also print the badge and it will have your name on it. So again, you see a lot of people sharing their achievements online through social media, etc. You have now also earned a Microsoft badge, but in a more fun way than just reading through the text base that's there on Microsoft Learn. After today's session, you will get an email with a link, and we will share both the whiteboard that you all collaborated with, as well as my notes in the whiteboard as well. And we will say thank you to everyone who attended and learned something together. Thank you so much.